Boston Bruins are on the clock. Pete Chiarelli and the Bruins getting set to make their selection.
And James, this is the much talked about first-round draft pick the Boston Bruins acquired from the Toronto Maple Leafs in the Phil Kessel trade last fall. The first of 3 picks they get, a first and a second this year and a first-round pick next year as well. That gives the Bruins their highest draft pick since they took Joe Thornton first overall back in 1997.
You know what's interesting about this? It's probably going to be Tyler Seguin. I don't think there's any secret about that, but look at the center ice position now. Marc Savard, Patrice Bergeron, and David Krejci in Boston. Maybe Pete Chiarelli takes Seguin, and eventually somebody moves.
Well, Marc Savard's going to be moved. They've been trying to move Marc Savard for the last little while. They will try and get a trade for Marc Savard. They will start next year with Bergeron, Krejci, and potentially Tyler Seguin if he's ready to play in the National Hockey League.
And by the way, the Toronto Maple Leafs, no first or second this year, not slated to pick until 62nd. That's a third-round pick. Here is Peter Chiarelli.
First of all, on behalf of the Boston Bruins, we'd like to thank the City of Los Angeles, the fans of the Los Angeles Kings for this wonderful hospitality. Second of all, I'd like to reach out and say hi to our fans at the draft party at Faneuil Hall Marketplace back in Boston. But most importantly, I'd like to make our selection now. And with the second pick, the Boston Bruins select from the Plymouth Whalers, Tyler Seguin.
Now it's Tyler Seguin's moment now after Taylor Hall goes first overall. And you know what? Sometimes number 2 isn't bad either. Remember, Chris Pronger went second overall in the draft one year. So did Denny Savard.
He worked out better than Alexander Daig, I'll tell you that. This is a can't-miss player. Composure, he wants the puck. He maybe doesn't play as hard a game as what you'll see from Taylor Hall, but the skill level's there. And there have been these comparables, Bob, to Steve Yzerman. I don't know if those are fair to this player, but I'll tell you one thing right now. He is almost ready to be an NHL player. I'm not sure he's ready to be one yet, but he's almost ready to be one.
Now, remember, you talk about the scoring that Taylor Hall did for Windsor, playing for a much inferior team in Plymouth. Tyler Seguin accounted for 21% of his team's goals and 47% of the goals they scored he was involved in.
To your point, Pierre, he is considered more of a perimeter player, and that's sometimes used in a derogatory term in hockey. That's not the case as his parents Paul and Jackie look on. He plays more of a perimeter game. He's not careful at all, but he plays that perimeter game because he's such a good playmaker, and he holds up. He has a great change of pace. Fast, slow, pull up, find the open man, break people down, and get people to the net. A lot of coaches in the Ontario Hockey League say there's not a huge amount of difference between this player, Tyler Seguin, and Steven Stamkos. He scored 48 goals. He scored 8 more goals than Taylor Hall over the course of this year. He's got a tremendous amount of offensive ability, both as a playmaker and as a goal scorer.
And what he'll do is he'll make the wingers in Boston better. Now, again, we talk about that depth they have down the middle, and I like what Bob said because I do think somebody's going to be the odd man out in Boston at the center ice position, and you got to think because of cap situation, it's going to be Marc Savard.
Are we assuming that Tyler Seguin's playing in Boston next year?
Well, he's got to make the team.
That's right. I don't think he's NHL ready. I think he's close. He's darn close.
I think there's an excellent chance that he'll be there. He tested very well at the Combine. If the amount of progress he showed from the end of the season to the Combine duplicates itself over the course of the summer, I think he'll physically be ready. By the way, his dad, Paul, played at the University of Vermont from 1984 to 1988, was a teammate of John Leclerc's, and actually played against Pete Chiarelli and Don Sweeney, who are part of, obviously, general manager of the Boston Bruins, who were at Harvard at the time. So let's take it down to James.
All right, with Tyler Seguin and Pete Chiarelli, the general manager of the Boston Bruins, finally we can officially put an end to Taylor or Tyler. Now you're just Tyler Seguin, Boston Bruin. How does that sound?
Oh, it sounds amazing. You know, it's a dream come true to go first round, and then to go to a team like Boston, it's fantastic.
The guys were just speculating on next year. Do you think you can have an impact next year with the Boston Bruins?
Yeah, that's my goal. You know, I think I'm very confident in my skills, and after talking to the Bruins, you know, I think I can come in and hopefully earn a spot.
What kind of player do you see him becoming? Will you use the F word, franchise player?
Well, I think Tyler has a lot of potential. There's a lot of things that we like that aren't out of the ordinary. Like he's got tremendous shot, vision, creativity, and he's got a lot of things going for him, James. And good kid, comes from a good family, and we're excited to have him.
You have some issues now, though. You are loaded with centers. Tyler, Krejci, Bergeron, Savard. Do you now look to deal one of those, perhaps?
I don't know. We've got a lot of versatility is what we have. Centermen are often the most talented players amongst the forward group, and I know Tyler can play the wing. We talked about that, so we've got a lot of options.
What about Tim Thomas? Any progress on attempts to perhaps trade your former Vezina winner?
No, and on Tim, like it wasn't. Tim does not want to leave Boston. He's expressly told me that he doesn't want to leave Boston. It's that if there is something to be worked out, he has a no trade clause, so we have to involve him in the situation.
Well, Tyler, congratulations. I know you and your dad got matching tattoos before this. You got out a Bruins tattoo now on his and your arm?
I don't know about that.
Listen, congratulations. Welcome to the National Hockey League.
Thank you very much.
Tyler Seguin, the newest member of the Boston Bruins, and Pete Chiarelli, their general manager. Toronto's first pick is 62nd overall in the third round. You've defended the Phil Kessel trade over and over again. You said you'd do it again. But here we are on the day. Was it tough to watch Tyler Seguin get selected second by Boston?
No. We made this trade. We took our chance on how our team would finish. We talked about the possibility that could be a lottery pick. At that point, we were having a real strong preseason and didn't believe it was possible. But we said, what if it is Taylor Hall? What if it is Tyler Seguin? And we said we're going to make that trade anyway. We got the player we wanted, and I hope Boston got the player they wanted.